over the list one more time, man. Let's go over the lists one more time. You want to give us a rundown of the Empire list being brought here by Diplomatt?
Okay, so he has 4 swordsmen with a greatsword up front. Then behind them we see 2 of these crossbowmen. And we also have lots of demis, 3 of them, and an Empire Knight on the field. As well as 4 spearmen, looks like 2 of them are in the back in the forest. Yeah, he moved them up, he's not going to keep them over there. We also see both both General of the Empire and Bright Wizard on horseback, so they're not in the air, which is a good choice, because against Bretonnia, you kind of don't want to go for an... I mean, unless you are doing something really specific, like you can do it with Vampire counts, but you can't do it with Empire. You can't take air superiority against Bretonnia with Empire, so it's a good choice that he kept them on...
Well, especially in this list tournament format, because, you know, you can't actually take your guys off your flying mounts if you're facing Bretonnia.
Yes.
You no longer have that choice, and so a lot of people you see have not chosen to take those flying mounts and instead taken them on the ground. For Jaysic's army, we've gone over it once before, but we'll go over it once again here, guys. He's got a solid line, 4 bowmen in the back, ready for that supporting fire. 1, 2, 3 units of men-at-arms with polearms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of spearmen at arms. Supporting him in the cavalry force are 2 units of air cavalry, made up of 2 units of Pegasus Knights. They will, of course, escort their lord and hero, Luan. Exactly. And the Paladin, who is also on a Pegasus. They're going to support those guys. For the rest of the cavalry force here for Jaysic, we have what looks like a single unit of Knights of the Realm. 2 units of Knights of the Realm actually hiding in the right-hand woods here. But that is it, guys. That is it. That is the entire list for Jaysic.
Yeah, and I don't know about how this is going to go for Jaysic, because I think Diplomat's going to do real well. The one thing I'm not sure about is the choice of taking the 2 crossbows against Bretonnia. I'm not quite sure what they will be able to achieve in this matchup, but we'll see.
That is of course the hard choice of the list tournament, man. Why are you taking crossbowmen against Bretonnia? Well, you kind of had to.
You don't know what you're facing, so it's like, yeah, he probably wouldn't have picked those if he went up against Bretonnia, I think.
Truly.
He knew, but
yep.
He picked the balanced approach.
To kind of address Nochi here, do you think the lack of lander dismount generally damaging? I don't think it's damaging to multiplayer balance. I think that it results in a certain kind of play here. By the way, the Pegasus Knights going into the demigryphs here, not very successful. Actually pull out of there. Do a little bit of damage to the demigryphs, surprisingly enough, though, but do manage to pull out of there before they take significant amounts of damage.
Oh, that was not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, I thought that would go much worse for the Pegasus Knights.
Huh. They did quite a bit of damage onto the demi. Still not effective, but yeah.
Still some damage to be sure.
Yeah, are they still fighting? It looks like there's still a couple of models in there.
Yeah, it looks like there's a model caught in a tree there, as well as another Peg Knight, I think, somewhere on the ground. Yeah, it just got stabbed to death. Oh, wait, no, it's still there. It's still there, just bleeding out right now. Trying to get out of the fight, but he just can't do it. He's surrounded by knights, and there he goes. He is dead, so the Pegasus Knights will be able to escape now.
Yeah, they took more damage now.
Yep. And I have to agree with some of the people here in chat here, Sniping Achilles especially, in that, you know, it's probably a good idea at this point to keep the knights, keep these Peg Knights here reserved to the end of battle where they can be used to rear charge broken troops.
That is what they're best at.
Yep, totally. And you didn't miss too much, by the way. Fugly Pump just got started. So, Jaysic, man, he's hiding in this forest. I mean, you think that is the move? Or, I mean, to a certain extent, that'll disadvantage his archers, will it not?
Yeah, but it's good that he's keeping distance from the Empire and he's moving up anyway. I mean, as long as he kites back,
sure,
it's fine.
Yep, true that. It also looks like, by the way, Empire, you know, I think to a certain extent, kind of maybe misplayed this little move here. He's moving back away from the forest. I think actually this was the opportunity to charge the Bretonnians, as the Bretonnian archers are not prepared to fire at their maximum range.
Yeah, this is a mistake, because I don't know what he's going to achieve going back, because he is going to have to be the one attacking, because Bretonnia has the Luan, who can keep, like, annoying Empire if needed.
Sure.
Regen, and he has, like, those bowmen, so he has... There's no incentive for Bretonnia to move up his main line, really.
Truly. And, I think also, by the way, that kind of shows to a certain extent why I think that artillery will be showing up more and more in these list matches. Because when you're unsure of what to do, right? Because you don't have a plan from the get-go because you aren't counterpicking your army. Things like artillery, I think, are much better because there's a lot more indecision at hand when you're playing with these list tournaments. And I think the artillery have that much more time to fire. And in a circumstance like this, even just one trebuchet, I think would have done very significant amounts of damage to this Empire line.
Oh yeah, but probably in a balanced build, a trebuchet would have not been a good choice against all factions. So I think that like him not picking it was a good choice. Yeah.
Hey man, I think
Yes.
I think trebuchets are amazing. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I think you should take 6 trebuchets, 6 archers, and 2 spearmen. That should be your army.
I mean, if you could have flying trebuchets, sure.
If only, if only. We will have moving trebuchets, of course, in the form of the Cygor. We've seen him in the
Oh,
last Let's Play
Jesus.
stream.
Oh god, that could be pretty strong because it's like a free unit.
Exactly, exactly. By the way, right now we are seeing the Empire are moving up towards the Bretonnians. They've had enough of this waiting game here, and they know that they are going to be the ones that need to attack. I would love to see a little bit of shenaniganry coming out of the Bright Wizard, maybe some vortexes that will absolutely, of course, chew up what the Bretonnian player has. It doesn't look like we're going to see that now. Instead, a little bit of crossbowman harassment on that first unit of men-at-arms, going to do heinous damage to them as they do not have shields.
I mean, the bowmen were not in position, but now they are.
They are now. I think, I would have much liked to see these bowmen actually out in the front of the battle, out here in front, actually being able to keep those crossbowmen away from the lines. But instead of doing that, Jaysic has decided to kind of keep them further back in here and just get a couple pot shots off at these swordsmen.
I don't think this is good for Bretonnia. He's not getting enough time to shoot with his bowmen.
Yeah, not nearly enough time. By the way, those bowmen just did huge amounts of damage to the demigryphs here in one volley. Did really significant amounts of damage. By the way, Jaysic, it seems to be he's able to hold his box here. We know what's really quite working for him, I think, is the fact that, yes, he's got his flanks covered not only by the woods here that right now Diplomatt is trying to flank around, but this boxy formation prevents his peasants from losing their morale very quickly.
2 Knights of the Realm rear charge a Demigryph Knight as well. And the Demigryph Knight now has Flaming Sword of Ruin activated, so not the Cascading Fire Cloak, but still a pretty good ability, but now it wears off. But yeah, you can see the Pegasus Knights already falling rapidly. They can't stand up to the Empire units in prolonged combat. They really have to be used more carefully, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I think it's very true, man. And I think to a certain extent here, it may have been something of a questionable decision, I think, from Jaysic to charge all of his cavalry into this little kind of massive spearmen and demigryphs. Yes, on one hand, he didn't have very much choice and had to do something at that point, but he's lost a huge amount of his cavalry force already. Not much Pegasus Knights left, and the only guy left in that fight is Loen Leonke. He will likely be able to get out, but it remains to be seen whether or not it will work in the future for him.
Yeah, all the Bretonnians are just chain routing right now, and Luen is probably looking at him and asking himself, why do I fight for these guys?
Exactly, exactly. Why do I fight for these filthy running peasants, man? Why do I do this? Why do I do it? We see, by the way, here really the strength of the Empire mainline coming into the fore. I think a few mistakes where Bretonnian didn't take advantage of their, for example, of their archer superiority, right? So that wasn't taken advantage of. And then, of course, when the main lines meet, the Empire will certainly win that battle. Pegasus Knights, they did a little bit of damage to the demigryphs, yes, but, they're made for softer targets, not the hard ones. And so, I think some of the kind of mistargeting of those units certainly led to what we're seeing right now as an Empire, kind of Empire being in a superior position. But, I mean, the Bretonnians are coming back from running. Do you think they can hold it out here just with those peasant archers alone?
No, they have nothing left. Okay, they have Luen, yeah, and a few cav, but they're basically gonna chain route at any point now. And we also see a nice demigryph charge into all those bowmen should route all of them, and should probably just shatter them.
Yeah, there's certainly not much left for these bowmen here. Okay, and Loen Leonko down to half health, probably not going to last very long in this fight. Let me just notify a player that will watch his game.
All right. So yeah. Diplomatt won quite convincingly.
He certainly did here. And Bretonnia just, I think, in terms of army list, right, we can always, he can't necessarily change his army list, but, what aspects of the army list do you think really kind of pulled him down here?
Well, it's probably Pegasus Knights, not so useful against Empire, I would say.
Fair, yeah. You know, I think the double Pegasus Knights, I think, is a very risky proposition in this list-based tournament, where a lot of people they're going to take their generals and not put them in the air just because of that fear of the Bretonnians. I think that and the overall lack of cavalry superiority, and then the kind of somewhat, maybe to a certain extent, the misuse of these peasant bowmen here. I think that really was what allowed Diplomat to take this battle away from Jaysic. Because, you know, Diplomat didn't do necessarily anything very fancy, yes?
No, he didn't do anything. He rushed forward and well, he executed his rush well, but it was nothing fancy.
Yep, I think so. Yeah, executed well, but nothing fancy. Some simple stuff, to be sure. Some simple stuff, to be very, very sure. So we're going to get into the next game here, guys. Not likely going to be Wolf Diplomat's game here. So Houseplant has beat Kurt. So you guys seen it here.